You are listening to the Hello Sport Podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Hello Sport Podcast, home of unqualified opinion and unwavering bias, joined by my dear friend Edward Simpson, myself. I am Thomas William George Birmingham. It's a very English name. I blame both of my parents. Anyway, we're back this week after...
It's also why you say dance.
It's also why I say dance in France and plant instead of plant, dance in France. Can't help any of that. I'm brought up the way I'm brought up. You know what I mean? Language is a funny thing. Do I speak the Queens? I think I do. We're a sports podcast, so probably not important at this point. Back after what was...
I do find it annoying, though.
You find it annoying when I say it properly?
Yeah.
How does that work? Like,
I don't know, it just annoys me. I'm like, you snooty man.
Because I say dance. Or I say dance.
You say dance. And I'm like, bruh, no one says dance. I don't know anyone that says dance. Except maybe like Andrew Parsons' mother, who's from England.
It's funny because I say plant.
I don't know why I say plant.
But I hate it. I hate it.
English people say plant?
I don't know, dude.
I think they say plant too.
But I actually hate when I hate myself when I say plant. I feel like it takes more energy to actually say plant.
I reckon when you go to say plant, you are like at a crossroads.
Yes.
And I think every time
I take the Queen's English.
You take the Queen's, but you wanted to have taken the Aussie.
No, well, listen. Like, I mean, obviously, language very important, and I like words, and I like being as intelligent as I am.
You like sounding like a fuckwit.
I enjoy that. But plant, I draw the line at plant mentally, but I always step over the line of plant.
Do you
mentally.
say can't?
Yes.
Can't?
You don't say can't, you fucking idiot.
That example.
Yeah, that was a horrible example. You had some good ones in dance and fucking France, and you went to can't.
I had some rippers. Yeah. I didn't think that one through.
No, that wasn't a good one.
Just came into my brain. I was like, go with it, bro.
Anyway, double barrel middle names for me. Edward Lloyd Simpson for you. Tough weekend if you do support anyone who plays rugby league called the Manly Seagulls. We'll get into that. It was a good weekend of sport though. A lot of some of the games of footy was sick. UFC was fucking wild. But Edward, you were away on a boys' golf trip.
Yep.
Correct? The Flog Cup?
Yeah, which is golf backwards. I mean, it's not creative, but it is what it is.
Okay, it's just golf backwards. There you go. I thought it was like you're one of those Melbourne dickheads who calls everyone a flog.
Nah.
Well, you're a flog.
Look, again, I mean, the name is what it is.
Yeah. You're not winning awards for the name.
No one's winning awards for the name, and I think quite frankly, we know that.
Yeah.
But it's not about the name, right?
It's also not about winning
the
awards.
weekend.
Yep.
Got up to the Hunter, Friday off, ripped into the golf.
What'd you play?
Played pretty well. Played Cypress Lakes. I was with Max Downs, friend of the show. Max and I played real well day one. We were 2 over through 17 and then tripled the last, which hurt.
That really hurts.
Really hurt. So we went in one back. Went in one back, and I was like, "Holy shit! Am I a fucking sniff this year? Am I a sniff? I might be."
How many years has it been going?
I'm never a sniff.
How many years have been going?
6.
And you've never won.
No disrespect to my past partners, but they've never been great.
No, Max is a good player, right?
Max is a great player. But yipped and yahooed on the Friday, woke up tired on the Saturday and got out on the course and had a crack, Tom.
You got golf carts?
Fucking oath.
Well, yeah, good. I mean, I'm like, if after a big night...
If you've ever played Cypress Lakes...
I have.
Have you? Well, you know what it's like.
I haven't played for years. I played when I was maybe like 14, 15.
If you were to walk it, you would have to be a sick man.
Yeah, right.
It is so undulating and like...
Good word, undulating.
It would be taxing on the body and the soul.
Especially after...
Because there was concern...
You might
and
die
plenty
out there.
of it that carts wouldn't be allowed because of the rain. And like the day before we got there, they'd fucking reintroduced them.
Would you have... I almost think I wouldn't play if I'm that hungover and like, no, there's no carts. Like, I'm like, well, what the fuck are we doing here? I'm not going to enjoy the day.
No. Well, you would have on the Friday because we weren't hungover.
No, I'm saying the Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Saturday. Because you're going like, this is just not going to be any fun for me. Just because we're here to play golf, but now we don't have the ability to have carts. Like, what the fuck do we do?
No. You put a line through it and you move on.
You move on. You just rip in again.
You move on.
So you came third.
Came third. So Chris Bushin friend of the show, he took the chockies. Those motherfuckers through 2 18s, through 2 rounds of 18, they were like 2 over. I think they shot 4 under.
Who was he playing with?
Andrew Parsons, who's okay, but not like...
Is Mushin good?
Yeah, he's good.
Is there a lot of carrying going on by a few good golfers up the top? Like, I'm assuming Max carried you, obviously. Mushin carried Parso.
Mate, well, I mean, yeah, Max probably hit fucking 65% of the shots.
75. He said 75.
Did I drain a fucking 100-footer?
100-footer?
Did I drain a 100-footer?
Really?
Well, like, I didn't have a measuring tape. But I can only go off vibe.
Didn't have one of those fucking range finders?
No, I didn't have a range finder, funnily enough.
Yeah. No, I'm surprised you didn't have You should have got your bloody Manly golf bag. Why didn't you get that? That would have been...
I know, I should have. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe it's a good thing I didn't bring that fucking thing.
Yeah, well...
Because I would have thrown it in a fucking lake after Friday. No offense, but I would have.
No, that's fine. And so how are you feeling today?
How do you think I feel?
I mean, look, I didn't...
If you were to hazard a guess...
I didn't hear from you yesterday, so I
assumed...
not
to message me on Sunday.
Well, I know.
After big weekend.
I know that. And, well, I know that if I message you and I don't hear back from you, because we were watching the UFC, that there's probably
messaging me being like, Mo, can you pay this invoice?
Yeah, I knew that one.
Fuck you, bro.
I knew that one would get him. That one, because initially
that
I
pissed me off.
Yeah, I knew it did, bro.
Why, you fuck.
Yeah, but also it had to be done, and you're that guy, you know what I mean?
I am the invoice
You're
guy.
the invoice guy. I'm fucking Tommy Content, and you're Eddie the accountant.
I'm Eddie the accountant. Yeah, well, it doesn't sound as good though.
It doesn't. Tommy Content sounds good, actually.
Tommy Content sounds great. Tommy Content's like a thing.
Yeah, Tommy Content's cool. We might start trying to keep that going. You know what I mean?
You'd get that on a jumper for yourself.
Well, it's funny. It's like we haven't got any T-shirts made yet, and the first one will just be a Tommy Content shirt, a photo of me.
Yeah, you've made yourself.
Speaking of merch, actually. That invoice that Eddie was paying might have been for a fresh batch of punters and dribblers hats.
Now, why do we get, like, there might be some of you at home going, you dickhead said you weren't going to make any more. Well, we weren't until we...
Sold out of them
in 2 seconds and didn't realise you have to have a key. You need to keep a couple...
up your sleeve for
like a rainy day, or like
some people's just went missing, some people's were damaged. Not many, but enough that we were like, well, we got to get more.
Well, like, I don't know, it wouldn't have been more than 4.
No,
necessarily, but it did happen, and it's required us to go back to the well.
Now, I mean,
we've gone.
Yeah, did we get more than we needed because we thought there was such a groundswell of support for the hat, and maybe it was an opportunity to just
well, to get more people their memberships.
Get more, grow the club.
We want to grow the club.
Ultimately, that's what we want.
That's what we want. So we've got a handful more.
They'll be here in the next week or so. We will keep you abreast of the situation. Also, we're in deep discussions with our Chinese counterparts and manufacturing partners around a bounced out Sunday trackie. Just something to think about.
Yep.
Bounced out Sunday trackies.
I mean, like, what else more is there to say?
Nothing else. A bounced out Sunday trackie. That will be, I think we'll have to do like a pre-sale order. You can't just, I don't think you buy like fucking shitloads of sizes, right?
Yeah, there's going to have to be a pre-sale.
It'll have to be like, all right, if you want them, you got to get them, and then we get them, because otherwise,
Well, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't know the shape and the size of the punter and the dribbler.
Neither would I.
Average? Do you know what I mean? You might be big, hefty gentlemen and women, and XL might be the order of the day.
Yes.
It may be the opposite of
We might have a lot of small, slender
We may.
men and women, and, so who knows?
It's very hard to say, and I'm not prepared to make assumptions.
No. But they will be must-have items, so we'll let you know. Now, Eddie, I didn't do anything on the weekend of note in terms of, like, I didn't go and write myself off. Kept it pretty fucking PG. Did do the live stream on Friday night with Bloke in a Bar, where we currently are right now. Kempy, Rennie Matua for the Roosters and the Rabbitohs game. That was a whole lot of fun. What was actually great was, so what they do is Kempy will put up a thing on his gram, and it's like, tag you and 3 mates or some shit, and like you can come in and they'll like watch the footy on the big screen, and they can watch us sitting up there and fucking live streaming the game or whatever. And he obviously got someone. He got like 4 dudes who were like Kempy fans, but also the P's and D's. All 4 of them rocked in their punters and dribblers hats.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sorry, I don't remember any of your names, guys, but it was an overwhelming sort of like fucking all going on, and I was pissed-ish. But yeah, good dudes, nice fellas, just all up and about. They were trying to get Danny Exotic in. They didn't even know him. They were like, there was one of their mates, so there were like 3 of them that were coming. They were trying to wait for like their 4th mate, and he wasn't getting back to them or something. They're like, fucking, let's try to get Danny Exotic in. And the poor bastard had to work. But I was like, imagine if Danny was in here. I wouldn't even be here. I probably wouldn't have made it to the podcast.
Oh my God, mate. Danny'd put you in a body bag.
Yeah, I know. So it's like a blessing and a disguise, like it's a blessing, but it's also like I think I probably would have loved that.
Is it a disguised blessing? Is that what you went to say?
No, I was going to say it's a blessing in disguise that I didn't have to go and, rack and red with Danny, but also it would have been nice,
Yeah, I don't think that's not something you say no to.
Definitely not. But anyway, so that was actually very fun. Thanks for having us on, Campy. Hopefully we'll do it again.
Brah.
And obviously you couldn't make it because you were at the golf.
That's right.
I only had one thing really, and this isn't about my weekend. It's just a public service announcement. It's like a warning. It's like a call to action. I'm almost begging and pleading with the parents of this great nation, parents of toddlers, parents of young kids. I was at the playground on the weekend, which is a place I'm fucking at all the time now that I've got Evie running around like a little champion. And most parents respect the reality, especially in a post-COVID world, that you don't bring sick kids to a fucking playground. If they're coughing, they're fucking whatever. If you allow your kid to get around with snot on their face, I think docs should be called. I think docs should be called and they should be taken from your fucking care because there's just no reason for it. There's no fucking reason for it. Keep an eye on them. If they have snot. I saw this kid and it's the worst I've ever seen. The worst I've ever seen. It looked like he had 2 fucking snot-coloured Christmas beetles under his fucking nose. And his parents, I didn't even know where they were. He's just sort of walking around the fucking playground. And I couldn't stop looking at it. It was all I could do. It consumed my thoughts. I'm like, look at this kid's face. What the fuck? It's humongous. And it's just slowly sliding down his fucking face. Like an eye, you know what I mean? I'm like, and then I'm trying to look around where is this kid's fucking parents? Do they realize what's going on? Finally, they come and wipe this thing off his face. They need to fucking gurney it. There was so much and then he starts coughing like he's fucking got emphysema at 2 years old. And I'm just like, why is he here? There are fucking kids everywhere. It's a petri dish here. Just fucking wait till he's better or take him to a park, you fucking idiots. So anyway, all I'm saying is if you're a parent of a child, small, whatever, please don't take him to the park when everyone else is fucking healthy and your sick little bastard is running around covered in snot and coughing. And then secondly, if you don't want me to call docs on you, then wipe the snot off their face. It's not that hard. You don't walk around with snot on your face, Eddie.
No.
Dave?
No, I try not to.
When you can avoid it, right?
Yeah, when it's avoidable.
When it's avoidable, you won't do it. If it's unavoidable, it's unavoidable. It was a very avoidable situation. Yeah. Saturday, Bondi local park, whatever the fuck it is. So anyway, that's my request to everyone out there. If you do it, I will call docs. One more thing before we get into the show, Eddie. We had a glory hole malfunction.
Well,
of sorts. We underestimated how big this glory hole is. It's now officially, we got it. We spoke to the people in the know. It's the biggest glory hole in the Southern Hemisphere.
Did you get it on the weekend?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
I haven't got it yet.
I thought you were getting a truck or something.
I am getting a truck. I went with a ute. The ute was too small. I now have to go back with a fucking truck.
Think about that. A ute was too small for this glory hole. It is the biggest glory hole in the Southern Hemisphere.
Yep.
Possibly the world.
Possibly the world. Because of COVID, we haven't been able to get the officials out here to fully look at it.
That's right.
Because it has to be done in person. It's not one of those things you can video and send in measurements. It's a real fucking thing. So that's got to be. We're waiting for whenever the measurers come out. That's another issue. But we've got to get this glory hole into our possession, quick, smart. So that's a job for this week. But imagine my surprise when I drove out to pick it up in Jarch's ute, and I get there and I just see it. I'm like, bro, this ain't fitting in my ute. And he's like, huh? I'm like, what photos are you showing me, dog? Like, this is the biggest fucking glory hole I've ever seen in my life. And it is big. It looks good. It's huge.
What's the stand like?
It's a wooden frame.
Is that part of the restoration works?
That is the restoration work, which he said cost him. What he said it cost him, I doubt, but whatever, I don't care. But it's a huge wooden frame, and then like on the back of it, you've got like 2 wooden beams that go down the middle of it. And I think that one of them or 2 of them had broken, so he has put wooden beams on those to like. Imagine if your leg broke and then you put like a metal fucking rod on there to restore it, essentially. That's him restoring it. Yeah. All he's done is just fucking reinforce the broken part that, you know.
Well, yeah. Mate, funny how he said it's gone into like rigorous restoration.
Rigorous restoration. Not exactly. I wouldn't say it's rigorous. I wouldn't say it costs that, but I don't care. The glory hole will be being got this week. That we do know. But I think now, Eddie, after a long and self-indulgent preamble, we get into the rugby league.
I'd like to do that.
Yep.
That'd warm the heart,
the
body, the soul,
yep,
the mind.
Now, there's a lot to go. There's a lot to talk about in rugby league here, Eddie. I think the biggest one for you and I, just to get it out of the way quickly, because we don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but we just got to get it out of the way quickly. You cool with that?
Yep.
You cool with getting it out of the way quickly?
Yep.
Manly lost to the Dirty Mojo Dragons on Friday night, 6 p.m, down at Wynn Stadium. It was a very tough experience, I know, for you and for I.
Hard to win in Wollongong.
We haven't won there since 2003. It's a difficult place. They say it's the most difficult road trip in rugby league.
It is.
To head from Sydney to Wollongong.
Yeah. No, from North Sydney.
North Sydney, from the down
north of the Spit.
Yeah.
To get from north of the Spit to Wollongong is the toughest road trip in rugby league football. Yep. Now, you might be like, how the fuck does that work? Well, flying from Melbourne, you get to Mascot.
It's easy
and then that trip's so quick.
It's quick. It's quick.
Mascot to Wollongong is a piece of piss.
And that's the same with New Zealand, right? New Zealand over to bloody
Sydney,
airport,
bang,
Mascot, straight in there.
Cowboys, bang, down.
Easy. But if you got to get from the fucking bridge over, the traffic on Military Road can be the biggest cunt in the world.
That's what throws you.
You can be there for days sometimes.
Yeah, dude. And
I think that might be one of what happened.
Yeah.
Bad traffic in Military Road.
Look,
do we blame Gladys? Like, I mean, what the fuck's the infrastructure
they went
doing
down.
here?
They got the bus down there. As far as I'm aware, Tom, they got the bus down there Friday afternoon. Now, there was traffic. There were considerable delays.
Yeah.
I think maybe the tunnel was even closed. There'd been an incident. And the boys didn't get there till a bee's dick before kickoff. They were lucky to make it.
So they didn't even really get to warm up.
They didn't warm up.
Didn't get to the legs were all stiff from the bus.
No. So, I mean, look, try winning a game of first grade rugby league football with no warm up.
No. Straight on the toughest road trip in rugby league as well.
Toughest road trip.
Now, I mean, the scoreline wasn't great.
It's not a scoreline that you'd
take home to mum and dad.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't take that.
No, you wouldn't swipe right on it if you saw that scoreline on Tinder.
No way, mate. I would never swipe right on that scoreline. That scoreline. Look, no offense to the scoreline. The scoreline's disgusting.
Yeah, look, this isn't about the teams that played, but if I'm just talking about the scoreline itself, fuck that scoreline. It made me physically ill.
Yeah, it made me. Yeah,
like I was throwing up when I saw the scoreline.
Yeah. Like, even being in around that scoreline, even in that scoreline's presence, you need to have a long scrub.
That scoreline needs to be locked up and throw the key away.
Yeah. How that fucking scoreline isn't in Goulburn, Supermax,
yeah,
is beyond me.
Yeah, never to see the light of day. I will say that one of the most disrespectful things I think I've ever felt as a Manly fan is when you're down like 30, whatever the fucking scoreline was, and like the disrespect for a coach to pull off Ben Hunt, like with 10 minutes to go, just like, you've done your job, bro. They're done. They're done here. Like, that's...
The cue in the rack.
Get off there. And you know what else? Ben was playing most of the game with a broken leg. Ben's out for 6 weeks, had a broken tibia or fibia or shibia or whatever the fuck it is.
Shibia?
Yeah.
Dude, shibias are fucked.
If you break those, dude. If you break those. The fact he was able to play a full game on a broken shib.
I didn't know you could... I didn't know you could play on a broken shib, dude.
Yep.
That's outrageous.
So does that puts it into even more context of how fucking shit we might have been?
Look,
or how shit the scoreline was.
I know. It is what it is. It's rugby league football.
Yeah.
There's ebbs and flows. There's peaks and troughs.
Yeah.
You know, dizzying heights call for dizzying lows. Not too dizzying, because obviously we've never won a spoon. But again, dizzying heights.
It's dizzying for us.
Call for dizzying lows. And dizzying lows in our world is 0-3. That's dizzy.
That's a dizzying low, obviously. Could you just check this? Because I know the Cowboys got absolutely butt fucked last night. Are they now bottom of the table, bottom of the ladder?
Mate, no, we would be.
Well, I don't know. I'm just
How
interested
for and
to know.
against is-
Yeah, I know how for and against is.
Yeah, still you guys, then Bulldogs, then Cowboys.
Okay, great. Thank you, Dave. Turn your mic off. Shining lights. Can we talk about some shining lights for the Manly Seagulls?
Yeah.
Not many. I thought Josh Schuster was in the moments, like I was drinking and I was also not paying. As soon as Zach Lomax scored in like the first minute, I was like, well, I'm not paying too much attention to this. But Schuster, every time he got the ball, seemed like there was a bit about him. He just had it. Just had something.
He's got it.
Yeah, he's got it.
He's got it.
He's just got it. Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe it's Schuster.
Maybe it's Schuster.
I don't want to sing the song with his name. I'm not up.
Well, we already heard how I fucking went with the bloke fucking Reed at the start, so I don't think you want to sing that.
No, I don't think
it
so.
It didn't go well for me. It won't go well for you.
Shining lights. What else have we got?
What else have we got in there? Is there any other shining lights? Do you know what bet I had on? I know this is we've got a betting show, About Even. Comes out every Wednesday, maybe Thursdays sometimes, we don't know. But from Matho, friend of the show, Matho, hit us up, and he just got me excited about a Manly win. Which maybe was my fault getting him excited about a Manly win, because I've been talking about it on the podcast last week as well. I had Manly 13 plus. Was it Manly head-to-head, Cherry Evans 2 tries, Schuster a try, Dufty a try. That was his bet.
That was his bet.
He gave it to me.
He showed me that during the week. He's like, mate, I reckon DCE goes man of the match. And I go, you know what? Queensland captain.
Yeah.
You know, he's been a bit indifferent start of the season.
Time to lift.
It's go time. He's got the toughest road trip in rugby league.
Yeah.
You know, when the chips are down, the greats, come and knocking.
Yeah.
And, I thought 2 tries was conservative, quite frankly.
Yeah, exactly. 2 tries or more. Didn't come off, in case for any of you eagle-eyed fucking rugby league pundits out there, did not come off. Anyway, Eddie, is there anything from a Manly perspective, from a shining lights perspective, from a dim lights perspective?
I would say this. The Beaches dribbler, who we now turn to in times of need, has assured the punter and the dribbler, that things can be salvaged. In a year that I forget, Manly lost the first 3 games of the season and finished 5th.
That's it. That's it.
I don't know what year it was, but it was a year with a 2 in it.
2009.
There you go. There you go.
Straight after winning a comp, we did that. So don't you worry about a thing.
Don't you worry about a thing.
Penrith this Thursday, Eddie. Now, they are top of the table. Is that correct? So that's going to be it's at Brookie, though. So I think we win this one. We win it well.
I think we win it well.
I think it's a 13-pluser.
Yep. Sometimes you've got to double down, and double down we will. Now, it was, apart from that, Tom.
Yep.
Rugby League's back in the headlines. Now, it's back in the headlines because it was a weekend of carnage.
Yes, the injury-wise.
Injury-wise, it was fucking biblical. You could argue.
Well, also, but is it though? I was of the belief that there was a lot of injuries.
A lot of injuries and a lot of big names going down.
Yes.
Which adds more fucking,
fuel to the proverbial fuego.
Puts more flavour in the gravy.
Yes.
So it's got people yapping and yahooing.
Yeah,
and it's got the punter and the dribbler fucking absolutely, some of them.
It's got the dribbler. The injuries and the rule changes have got the dribblers amongst us fucking just on their soapbox, bloody giving out
name me something more knee-jerk than a dribbler.
Dude, they just, it's alarmist, over-the-top, bullshit, uninformed rhetoric where they just go, I'm just going to say this thing because I don't know if it's like, I just wonder whether it's like there's a desire for the dribbler who we love, but a desire for the dribbler just to have to say stuff. Like they just have to give an opinion. They don't need to necessarily think about what it is before they say it. They do the minimum bit of DYORing, and then that will inform basically an opinion that they can extrapolate over an entire year.
They don't DYOR. Now, I'm talking about the alarmist dribbler don't DYOR. Can you go to Punters and Dribblers, Dave? A bloke in there,
James Chapman,
did a great. He's done some DYORing. He's done some DYORing around. So the first things first, even before the injuries, the dribbler is complaining about the speed of the game.
What, it being fast and fucking great?
It being too fucking fast and great, and there's been too many errors. Now, a lot of them said that after last week's performances where they were played on ponds and it was fucking pouring rain. Mate, Steedens are slippery when they're wet.
Yeah.
Fucking newsflash.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Like,
dude, that's so true.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's literally,
you got those stats?
James Chapman.
Yeah.
Not the stats.
he doesn't have stats.
Now there is. Someone put one in about the fucking handling errors.
Oh, so are you talking about, was that in Kendrick's? Was it in the comments of Kendrick's little whinge?
It's a unique dribble. I saw it this morning or maybe last night.
So the two dribblers that have been anti-V'landys, so James Chapman put him on saying Peter V'landys' rule changes have ruined rugby league.
Yeah, I know.
Is that the one you're talking about, that dribbler?
No, I know he said that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a guy who's positive, being like, you cunts don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
no, I got you. All right, so Travis Rio, he's posted in saying...
Is it, hold on, can I ask you, before you end it, is this guy in response to the other two dribblers? Because if he is, I think we need to read theirs first to give context.
His sort of is.
Okay.
He's just like...
Just read it.
Yeah.
Travis Rio.
So he said, in 2019, the average completion rate in the NRL was 76.8%. So far in 2021, it's 76.5%, so just over 1% less. Not bad given round 2 was played in ponds. There are more handling errors because there's more footy being played. # myths never.
So
because the ball's in play more, you could argue that there would be a slight increase in handling errors. And given that round 2 was played in fucking monsoons, then
once in a generation rain. Can you now try and find Kendrick the dribbler's fucking post and James Chapman, because they're also going after the rule changes and V'landys, and then Kendrick, who look like the guy just fucking loves the sound of his own voice or his own words. But like, and also he loves to just engage with dribblers, right? Where like, he just, like, I don't know what the fuck that guy does with his time on a weekend. Does he just respond to people on the Punters and Dribblers page? And he's probably in a million other pages. Like, you think that Kendrick just exists in the Punters and Dribblers world? He would be arguing in fucking random ass pages across the internet.
Some people love doing that.
But he is like saying, the handling errors are so bad that the game's shit, the fundamentals of rugby league are shit. But they're not. But also, we've seen some of the greatest games of footy. Like, the quality of the footy's still sick. Melbourne...
the quality's better.
Melbourne and Penrith had a fucking ball terror of a game.
Mate, like, honestly... I think the fucking product's great now. I like when it's opened up and fucking those momentum shifts. Yeah, at the bottom end of the table, the games can be a little dour. Again, another fucking newsflash. They've always been like that.
You ever heard of bottom 8 footy, you fucking dribbler? We've been talking about it for years. When we were sitting in here on Friday night with Kempy and Rennie, and they were both going like, fuck, I haven't even realised how much, like, now that the game is quicker and there's a lot more going on, it's more exciting. They were like, you almost didn't realise that the footy was a bit boring before, because it was just get to your kick, get through your set, get to your kick, really like generic, like shifted ball play, like, you know, one side of the field, the other side of the field, forward takes a hit up. Like, I'm hearing fucking people that know what they talk about say that, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's interesting insight. And then you go onto the Punters and Dribblers page where it's interesting, certainly not insightful, but it's like, oh, the fundamentals. It's like, Kendrick, bro, do you just want to see catch passing done really efficiently? Is that what you're looking for? Catch passes? Like, fucking go watch training if you want to do that. Like,
yeah, I know. He wants to see the ball shifted out to the wing
and then back.
Everyone catch it.
Yeah.
And then the wing gets tackled and then we just go
shift it back. Couple of hit-ups, really good run.
I won't watch my rugby league if there's a drop ball.
No. Play the ball correctly. The fundamentals of rugby league. The fuck, dude? You want to see wild shit?
Yeah. I want to see fucking throbs in open play, breaking the line.
Yeah.
Like, and everyone's like, oh, fatigue's ruined the game. Bruh, fatigue, like that's
the element of sport. Like that's what the fucking...
You know, like what sport doesn't have fatigue?
It's like maybe golf.
You know what I mean? Oh, geez, I can't watch that fucking 5-set open tennis. I can't watch Grand Slam tennis.
No, dude, it's too long. Because as the game, have you noticed that as the game goes on, they get more tired and start like not playing as well? It's like, oh, you mean like fatigue and how the fitter you are, maybe the better you are. Like it's an advantage over your opponent.
Yeah.
Or it's like,
why is there more wickets taken later days in cricket?
yeah, because we've been playing for 5 fucking days, and this guy's been bowling for 4 of them, and now he's going to try and bat to save his nation.
Yeah, but fatigue's no good.
No, fatigue's, mate.
Don't watch Test cricket, bro. It's too much cricket.
Mate, game's too fast. Game's too fast. Too fatigued.
I'll only watch pajama stuff.
No, dude. You just want no change at all. You want everyone to be exactly the same the whole way through.
I heard Kenty on on Triple M, and Kenty can be a dribbler, but he makes good points. He's
Definitely.
like, if you're dribbling about fucking fatigue being an element, like, may as well just have a fucking new team at half time then.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? That's what you want. If you want freshness, do that.
It's just these people though, they don't. They just sort of like speak first before they consider what they're talking about. And it's like, I just want to be angry about something. I just want to like whinge. Kendrick is very NRL 360 in his or he's very like Fox Sports media about, it's like, it's all like negative.
Well, it's
talk
not just
shit.
Kendrick.
No, I know, but Kendrick, not to just hang shit on you, Kendo, but you're the last thing I read before bed, which isn't healthy for anyone. It is not healthy for anyone. Reading a fucking Kendrick thread before bed is not going to put you to sleep. It actually makes you angry.
But look, if you've got these stats, I'd like to hear them.
And Jack Chapman, can you just read Jack Chapman's one where he blames V'landys?
Yeah, James Chapman, I think one of the all-time great pieces of bait in the Punters Dribblers group.
Yeah, he's a fantastic fisherman.
Yeah, V'landys and his speeding up the game is the worst thing to happen to the NRL.
That's all he said?
That's all he said.
Oh my God. I hate quick footy. It's
yeah.
awful.
But also like... just statements that aren't accompanied by anything else. Just like, oh no, it's just.
You know what? He's the sort of guy that would have said fucking every year of his life, fuck, I love how fast State of Origin is.
Yeah, right. Dude, no, State of Origin is just a better brand of footy. So quick.
So quick. Oh God, fuck, Flannery's speeding up the game's awful.
The worst thing to
happen to
NRL.
your mind, bro.
Yeah, the worst thing to ever happen
to NRL.
Oh my God. It's shocking. The stats don't back up anything they're talking about. And to draw a statistic like, let's move on to injuries, for example. Like, yeah, it was a bad round, but like that's not a data set, bro.
No,
you need a season before you can turn around and go, okay, is there something here?
Exactly. 3 rounds of the new rules and there are injuries, of which a large portion of them are concussions, in which we have never taken more serious. We have never taken more seriously. Like there would have been a bunch of concussions that would have just been let go in years gone by. Like, what the fuck? He's doing an ACL because it was fatigue? Well, how many ACLs are done in the round? Not that many. Not enough to say that ACLs are now in danger because the game's going quick.
You can't sit there and go that you're more likely to fucking do an ACL because the ball's in play only 3 more minutes a game.
Kiri did his ACL in the week, and that was it, right? Is that the only ACL that was done? Like, there are not. That's what's also ridiculous is the raft of injuries are diverse. So it's like, what is it? Is it one specific injury that these rule changes are causing, or is it like, oh no, it just is now responsible for a carpet bombing of like all types of injuries?
But you're just drawing a palette. You're just making it up.
Correct. Made up. Fucking. It's just opinion, right? Like it's just like, oh, like not really based on anything. I'm just sort of, this is what I think.
That's what I think. Well, there's injuries. It must be caused by saying. Well,
and I hate V'landys because I'm a salty dribbler who doesn't like progression and alphas and like dudes who are related to fucking God, right? Like he's obviously, I don't know, dude, you from another religious sect, which is okay if you are, but don't start coming for our figureheads. Is that what it is?
Our Pete.
Our Pete. Don't you come for our fucking Pete. Jack Chapman, James Chapman. Whatever. But I do also have to, in the same breath as I shit on Kendrick and I shit on James Chapman, applaud them because I do love it. I love the dribble in the Punters and Dribblers group.
That's what it's for.
It's what it's about. It's for these sorts of opinions. And I know that Kendrick gets up people's dickholes like with his, you know, random dribble a lot, and people like James. But that's what it's about.
That's what it's
this
all
is the
about.
place. This is the place where you do it. This is the place where you dribble. This is the place where basically, you know, it's freedom to share ideas. And if it's a dumb idea, you'll get shouted down. You just get buried with fucking better ideas.
But that's what it's about.
The marketplace of free ideas exists within the punters and dribblers.
And that's what we said. We said that when there was the war with Facebook, which we've won, that it was the last bastion of free speech, and it shall remain.
Yep.
It shall remain such.
Yep.
You're allowed your opinion in there, but also your opinion
is going to get criticised, critiqued.
Well, it's going to get critiqued.
Yeah.
Free speech works both ways.
It does.
Correct.
It does. And that's my opinion.
Yep. And mine. And I think most people's. That
Like, you couldn't watch that Thursday night game and go, this is shit ass.
the worst thing that ever happened to rugby league.
Oh, bro, it was tremendous.
It was so good. And then
Friday night was sick.
Well, look, like there was still good footy played on both those games. Like even the Roosters weren't playing that well. They got some injuries. Manly, even the Manly Dragons game. If you're a Dragons fan, that's a good game of footy, right? Like you're not going, oh, that was a shit game of footy. Like it sucked for Manly because we didn't play well. But that's also like that's what rugby league's about. Teams play well, teams don't play well. Not both teams are like throbbing the whole way through, pulsating even, unless it's like top of the table. That's usually how it goes. I will say the Roosters are fucked now, though. The Roosters season's done.
Well,
It's done.
It's interesting. I'm very interested to see if this Sam Walker kid is as good as they say.
Well, they've got Sam Walker and Suwali apparently both playing this week now. Because, and I
Where are
don't...
they going to play? Who's going to go to 6?
Now, hold on. Daddy may have dreamt this. Daddy may have put this in his dreams. So I'm not 100% sure. Dave, I'm going to need you to get on your fingers under the DYOR there. Sam Walker will definitely be picked, I believe, because Kiri's ACL and Lachlan Lamb's done his fucking medial. But I heard Suwali was going to be picked as well.
Well,
Were they going to pick him in the centres and put someone else in the halves, or was they going to pick him at 5'8", like a humongous 5'8"?
I think they're going to put Joey Manu in the halves because
Right.
he played there, I think, when Lamb or Kiri came off, and he played a bit last season when one of them was injured.
And they'll put Suwali in the centres.
Yeah.
So I think I must have dreamt Suwali playing 5'8".
I mean, they could, but that's what I heard from my Roosters, mate.
Interesting. Very interesting.
So, yeah, look, obviously if Sam Walker throbs, which is a possibility because the Roosters don't have fucking anyone shit, really.
Well, I've just heard, like,
Well, yeah, generational.
I heard his generation.
Yeah, but even generational players, like, take a while to...
Yeah, I know.
Not
Look,
even 18 yet.
He's not a Kiri. He's certainly...
No,
you
he's
can't
not walking
expect
in
him
a
to
Kiri.
walk in and be
No,
Kiri.
no, you can't.
So they are fucked.
And that, but
And
also...
ACL, he's out for the season, right?
Yeah, but also pre-ACL, they were getting done by the Rabbitohs. Like, they were actually getting done. It was like, oh, you have just played two less than quality teams at the start of the season in the Tigers and the Sea Eagles, two out-of-form teams, let me say that, because Manly will make the finals, probably win the comp. But, so, you know, our marker of how good the Roosters were was wildly skewed because they played two teams that were out of form. And then when they come up against the Rabbitohs, who lost to the Storm and then beat Manly in a Golden Point thriller, like you're going, oh, okay, these guys are actually, the Rabbitohs are actually better than the Roosters. They belted the shit out of them. The scoreline was flattering at the end.
Yeah, they were much better. But the Rabbitohs are sick.
Yeah, but I didn't think they were. Mate, I had Roosters 13+. Not that that means anything, but like...
You had them 13 plus?
Well, basically because I was going off purely recency bias, which was the two out-of-form teams they played, and the Rabbitohs didn't look that good in a Golden Point thriller or the loss to Melbourne. So it was like, fuck it, Roosters coming to win. Now, I'm a vibe guy, so no one who gives a fuck what I think, but all I'm saying is the Roosters actually maybe aren't that good. The Roosters last time they played the Rabbitohs last year, they got done 60-4 or something.
Yeah, they got
ridiculous.
pounded into the earth.
into the earth.
It's, well...
So maybe the Roosters really just were all fucking piss and vinegar.
They might have been piss and vinegar. They might have been. But what we know for sure now is they probably are piss and vinegar because no Kiri's fucking tough for any side.
Lamb out for a while.
Lamb out for, what, 6 to 8 weeks or some shit. Like, she's going to be a tough season now.
Yeah.
They'll probably come, 5th, 6th, 7th. Maybe they'll drop out of the 8.
Dude,
who knows?
who knows?
You never know
You
in rugby
just don't
league.
know.
You never know.
Now, in terms of the other games, congratulations to the Brisbane Broncos. First win since July. You love to see it. They were going for the record. Kempy Kempy did bring a stat to me last week that my stat about that being the record may have been a little off. So if you remember, I was saying that if they lost to the Bulldogs, they would have equaled the record for most consecutive losses.
Yep.
That apparently is not the case. The Newcastle Knights lost 17 on the trot. If you believe Kempy, I thought he might have photoshopped something just to throw me off because obviously he's a Broncos dick rider and, you know, the Broncos are such a
He might have.
But they did win. That game, for anyone that had nothing better to do at all and watched it, for the first 60 minutes was poison. It was poison on a rugby league field.
I didn't watch it.
0-0 till like the 60th minute.
0-0.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was 2-0.
Oh, 2-0.
2-0.
So 0-0. And then it just opened up. The Broncos just ripped the shit out of them. Jermaine Izarko scored a couple or scored one, set up one.
Coates scored a couple.
Coates scored one. Dearden scored one.
Saga's try was sick.
Yeah, it was. It was hot shit.
In, out.
In, out, in, out, out, in,
Or
out.
out in, whatever. You
One
know
of
what I
those, though. He did it. You get it. Then the Raiders going down to the Warriors.
Mate.
Check About
Mate,
Even
what
if you
was
want
the
value.
yeah.
If you want value, go watch About Even on YouTube.
Did you... What was the score with like 60 to play? They were well up, the Raiders.
Yeah. Well, it was quite
like
a comeback.
30 to 10 or some shit.
They lost some motherfucking players, the Raiders. They had like two players concussed each other. Ryan James and Sebastian Chris headbutted each other.
Ryan James went off in the first 5 minutes, I think.
No, it was first 15. I think there were 3 players down. But so Sebastian Chris and Ryan James. I think Ryan James came up for Tarpanay, who fucked his ankle. Then Ryan James and Sebastian Chris headbutted each other and then fell in one of the most sexually suggestive ways I've ever seen. It was not funny they were injured, but they basically fell like ass to penis on the ground with the greatest respect. And then was that it? So those 3 off, and then I think some
Curtis Scott did his rib.
he played the rest of the game with the broken
with
rib.
the
I
broken
think.
rib, yeah. And Rapana was a bit injured as well.
Yeah,
I
like
think.
they played tough, and then Sticky. Well, and then what did was it the Warriors then got them? They would try to put him in front off a forward pass, and Sticky was fuming.
Yeah, and it was like the most blatant.
It was forward.
pass.
It was forward.
Yeah, Sticky wasn't in a good place.
Sticky's press conference just going like, "I'm here so that I don't get fined." It was basically Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
And then apparently he is going to get fined because he was yelling abuse from the sideline during the game or something like
Yeah, he
that.
berated an official, like went after him.
Did he?
I think he might have done.
I don't think it was like he followed them after the game. I think it
Oh,
was like as the game was going on.
I thought
Oh,
they
you
were
thought he-
implying that he went after him into the tunnel.
You thought Sticky was like, "Catch me outside, get him in the car park," sort of shit.
Yeah. Catch me outside. Yeah, exactly.
Fuck.
Right. That's what I thought was happening.
That would be terrifying if Ricky started to fucking
and,
come up
and
to you while you're trying to get in your
Sticky's
car.
capable of that.
Sticky's an emotional man.
So emotional.
He's the beating heart of Canberra.
Well, he's in some ways he's the beating heart of rugby league passion.
Yes. Yep. I'd say that.
No one's fucking more passionate than Sticky.
No.
I don't know how he does it. The emotional turmoil must be just so draining.
You can see he wears the stress on his face.
He does, but he must like. When does he come down? Does he ever come down?
When the lights go out, you know, at night, and he's alone at home, well, with the missus in bed, and it's just like, you know what? Just take a deep breath.
When does he come down from that rage? Monday, Tuesday?
Probably not till a win. And even then, he's probably got critiques. Maybe when the season's over. Maybe not until they win a comp. He probably hasn't been happy since 2002 when the Roosters won.
Even still. Maybe it's never been enough for Stick.
Maybe that's what the coaching life is about. It's never enough.
Mate, you can fucking belt that. Yeah. That's rugby league.
Well,
they're the games.
Well, no, Eddie, because we do also have the Tigers v the Knights.
Oh, yeah, but fuck.
Well, the DMC's got it done this weekend. The DMCs, it was a weekend for DMCs.
And they happen. They happen. Statistically, they have to happen every now and then.
Yeah. Rare, but they do happen.
Well, it's rare.
But I think you just sort of go, oh, the Knights actually aren't that good.
Did we ever think they were good? Did we?
Look, I don't know if we necessarily...
I don't think we sat down.
I
and
don't
said they're
think we
good.
necessarily thought
Does anyone have them in their top 4? No one does.
No one worth listening to.
No one does. That doesn't make any sense.
Bradman Best not there, and then you get done by the DMC Tigers. Like,
No Best, no Ponga. But, again, either you're elite, you're the top 4, and then there's a couple fucking foaming about 5th, 6th, and then there's just the rest, and then there's the bottom teams.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Did you see the guy in debut? Was he debut Dominic Young for the Knights?
Was he the dude with heaps of hair?
Yeah, and he lost the game for them like twice in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
That was very tough for him as like a new guy on the scene. You know what I mean? Like, here I am trying to prove
Tell
myself.
you what, they turn out at Newcastle though.
They do. Well, it was Mitchie Pearce's...
They love a home game on a Sunday afternoon drenched in HD light.
Mitchie Pearce's 300th. At least he got a try.
Got over the chalk.
But didn't win.
No.
As I said, again, I think I said it on our world famous betting show about even, but as soon as I heard it was his 300th, I thought the Knights would lose because there's just something about it for me where it's like Mitch has had a great career. He's had a fucking, like he's done a lot in it, but there's something about that where I'm like, he doesn't deserve a famous 300th win in that sense. And I don't mean from like his off-season shit or anything. It's like, it just seems like that's the sort of shit that happens in his career where it's like, yep, you made 300, congratulations, we're not going to let you win it. Like if I'm just thinking of how the rugby league gods behave.
Yes.
Do you think
Based on past experience?
Yes.
is Mitch going to be remembered as a 300-plus game player, or is he going to be remembered as...
No, he's remembered as
from the
Mitchell
dog?
Pearce. He's
Yeah.
remembered as Mitchell Pearce, the king of the off-season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a guy that's won a comp.
Yes.
People are going to look back and be like, wow, he actually played 300 games in between all his off-seasons.
Yeah, shit. Like,
Yeah.
he's been suspended a while as well. He should probably have played 400 already.
Yeah. Mate, he's played a lot of rugby league games.
Yeah, he has.
For someone who's not that old. What,
Well,
is
he's
he, 31?
31, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's pretty impressive.
Well, dude, like, you think about it being 31, if he doesn't get shipped off to the fucking Super League, he could have a crack at Cam Smith's record if he plays for a while. But Cam had form on his side.
He'd need to play for 4 more seasons, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he'd need to play all of them, and he'd need to...
That's quite a few. He'd be 35.
Well, this season included.
True.
Maybe.
But he is turning 32 this year, so it will be 35.
There you go. Something to think about, punters.
It's definitely something to think about. I wouldn't spend too much time thinking about it because I don't know how interesting that would be for anyone. But that's by the by. That's rugby league. And I think we push on into the proverbial good night, Edward, and we see what else we have to talk about
I think so,
this
mate.
week.
Were you Debo on Thursday night?
Because I was fucking up. I thought he got it down.
Yeah, but he didn't.
But he didn't get it down though, right? You realise that.
Not get it down.
People were trying to tell me he did. I'm like,
Who the fuck was trying to say that? He clearly didn't get it down.
Chris Dorney was like, he got it down. I was like,
Fucking
no,
hell.
he didn't.
Even in the replay?
That's what I said. I'm like, no, he didn't.
But did you see the replay, Dorney?
Yes. Well, fuck. That's what we were saying. And he was like, he did. And then
What
I
do
was
you
like,
mean he did?
That's what I said. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Couldn't believe what I was hearing.
But did he stick by that?
Yes, he did.
Dorney, reach out. If you still think that's true, please just reach out because I just want to know if you still hold that belief.
Reach out.
Because, and then we're talking Olam. Poor old fucking Olam.
Olam should have scored.
Well, he
But he
should have,
didn't.
but Kickow got there. But also, the Storm should have scored because Josh Adokar was hanging out there with like a fucking shag on a sheep's ass, just going like, hey, bruh, pass me the ball. I'm open.
Yeah, I'm ready to rock.
But Olam saw glory.
Well, glory.
That's
Look,
now.
you know what? The game winner corrupts the mind.
It does. Glory corrupts the mind.
Glory.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Absolutely, that's right. But glory specifically and the match winner specifically, you know, got a bit of devil in it.
That's 2 weeks in a row for Olam.
do you
Last
mean?
week against Para, he put that kick in when we had one set on their line. We were 4
That's
points
true.
behind.
Olam with
Tried
a bit of a brain snap in him.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Because now you guys are like one win above us.
Yeah, I know. We're on the same amount as the Tigers, which is
So
not
wait, where
good,
are you
but
sitting in the whole?
We're 11th, I think I just saw.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, 1 win. But to be fair to myself, which obviously I'm going to be, we've played Souths, Eels, and Penrith.
So what?
You're the fucking
And-
premiers though, right?
And we did have 5 players out from our starting 13 this week.
Sound like excuses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This sounds like a different Melbourne Storm who aren't prone to excuses. This sounds like weakness.
It does
Yeah.
sound like weakness.
Sounds like
the
weakness.
truth is, Cam Smith wasn't there to guide us through those late finishes. Like
Right.
he
So
was
you're
in
basically
previous
realizing that, you know,
The truth is you're 11th.
everyone's like, oh, yeah, Manly's like a fucking turbo hamstring away from ruin. So you're basically like a 38-year-old fucking aging warhorse away from any success.
Well, plus our young gun fullback and like the 3 other players.
Right. So
But
you're-
what are you coming?
And our co-captain.
Coming 11th. You just got to
11th.
own it.
Yeah.
We're,
Yeah.
Mate, we've owned bottom of the table.
Fuck.
Dude.
We're below the Broncos. But then again, you're below everyone.
Yeah,
So-
but like the bottom of the tables never looked so good. You know what I mean? Like we're like, yeah, sweet. Oh no, we're fucking bottom of the table after 3 rounds. We've been here before. We're just fucking cooling our jets before we. That's for those you can't see, that's me fucking rocketing. That's
Only one way to go, baby.
That's
Only
a
one
rocket
way to go.
going up.
Up,
That whistle's
up,
only
up.
going to get louder.
That's right, baby.
Now, we're done with Rugby League. Manly 13 plus against Penrith this Thursday night. Brookvale Oval, the home of Rugby League in Australia. Brookvale Oval. The home of the premiership, they say. Dave, you on the weekend had some sort of festival of Judaism.
Yes, I did. For the uninitiated among us, it was Passover this weekend.
How do you say that in Hebrew?
Pesach.
Pesach.
Pesach. Which
Eddie's just checked out and he's now reading his messages while
Yeah.
Dave's talking about his fucking,
That's
his
about
family
that's
Jewish
about
traditions.
as long as I lasted as well in the service. But anyway, it celebrates the 10 plagues in Egypt and the
10
Jews,
what?
10 plagues.
Plagues.
So basically, the story goes that Jews were slaves in Egypt under Pharaoh, and then Moses was like, he'd had enough. He also saw the burning bush, which you may be aware of that.
Yep.
Is that when he found the... No, keep going.
Well, what were you? No,
were
finish
you
what
gonna
you
say?
finish your thought.
like a
What, the 8 something?
zinger box?
No.
That's kind of what you're holding.
What's the...
Thinking about like Jesus with loaves of bread and shit.
No.
Manna?
No, 8, the 8... There was something written in stone or something.
The commandments.
Yeah.
Ten
Can he
Commandments.
find them
10
after the
No,
bush?
no, no.
Do you mean 10 commandments?
Yeah.
You don't even have the number right. The 8 commandments? Jesus.
Mate, again, long weekend.
No. That's a bit later on in the year, but I'll let you know when that happens.
Right,
But
okay.
anyway, Jews, slaves in Egypt, not happy. Moses saw the burning bush, was like, oh shit, there's a god that's not Pharaoh apparently, or it was a DMT bush, or who knows.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. So he said to Pharaoh, let my people go. And then Pharaoh didn't. And so God sent 10 plagues. And then after the 10 plagues, Pharaoh was like, all right, you can go. And then they started chasing after them. And that's when Moses split the sea.
Yep.
And then they walked through, and then the sea ate up
Closed in
all
on
the
all that.
Egyptians. Yeah.
Right.
And so anyway, Jewish people obviously celebrate 2 big nights of dinners with family, which was long. But
Do you look
for
forward to them, or are you like over it now at fucking...
It's nice,
22 or whatever you are.
well, I mean, doing it twice a year and other festivals every year gets a bit much. And it's nice, like, to be with family, but at the same time, like, when you read through the whole story every year and, like... And, my family's not religious, but on these holidays, they'll do all the blessings and stuff. And I'm like, okay, well...
And
doesn't
do you have
really
to
mean
wear
anything.
your yarmulke?
Yeah, we're in my yarmulke, yeah. I'm impressed you know that. But yeah, but basically the reason Pesach's big is because for 8 days, the duration of Pesach, you're not allowed to eat bread or any sort of kind of flour stuff that's risen.
Why?
Because when the Jews were leaving Egypt, they were like baking food to go, and then Pharaoh kind of changed his mind and is like, nah, we're going to get him again. And then so the Jews were like, oh shit, we got to go. So they took their bread out the oven and made what's called matzah, which is unleavened bread, which I do have some here for you guys to try.
Yeah, we'll try it.
We've got... okay.
Unleavened, does that mean like not non-risen?
Yeah, there's some rule. It's like if it rises for more than like 7 minutes or something, then you can't eat
Dave's
it.
brought this bread in a satty bag, so I can only imagine what was in there before the bread was. This thing's going to taste like pot.
I want to eat it over something. It's a bit crumbly.
Okay.
I mean, I'll certainly it's going to be a taste situation.
So yeah, it's a lot of, remembering we were slaves and now we're free.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And so you can't really eat anything with like any sort of bread in it. So
Is this all you eat for 8 days?
essentially no pasta, no rice.
Do you like meat and
dip
shit?
this?
Yeah, you can, you put a bit of butter on it or avo or something. I mean, I'm not going to eat it the whole 8 days because you don't shit for 8 days if you eat that.
You
It's
can
like-
put dips on this and like prosciutto and stuff, or is that going a
Well,
bit
not
over the top?
prosciutto because I think that's pig,
That's
isn't
pig, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Eddie didn't know what prosciutto was until he was like 28.
No, I didn't. I actually didn't. I'd never had it.
He went away with like
Really?
his-
Did you grow up kosher?
Ella's sister Ruby was like disgusted that I didn't know what it was. Like almost fainted, I believe.
Was that because you were on like a family holiday or something and they were eating prosciutto and you're like, what the fuck is this?
So what did you say? Oh shit, this is just fancy Devon.
No, like they got like
What's this
prosciutto
magic
pizza,
Devon?
And I was like, what's prosciutto? And she's like, are you fucking taking the piss? I don't think they sold it in Dubbo, and I stand by that. I don't think it was a thing.
Prosciutto's not a thing in Dubbo, or
No,
it was
They didn't
Dubbo.
have, they
It
didn't
was
have
Devon
pigs
only.
around Dover.
It was Devon only. I don't think it made it out there. They didn't put it
Yeah.
on the trucks.
No, maybe not.
All right, and no, like, you know, no poachers out there were shooter poachers.
Nah.
Cheese boards and shit weren't really a thing. It was like Cheezels and Smarties
And like Cabanossi fucking.
yeah,
Like
and
less
Devon.
snack dips and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, look, this bread or whatever the fuck you call it, leaven.
Matzah.
I'm not hating
Matzah.
it, bro.
I'm not hating it,
Really?
but I'm also like, there's probably an amount of time I can go just eating this before I start to like.
It depends what you get on there.
But I thought you weren't allowed to have shit on it.
No, you are allowed to have. No.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
what can't you eat during Passover?
There's a lot of rules. So there's a thing called chametz, which is like basically anything that comes from bread or grain or lots, and it goes to everything. Like you can't have like whiskey or beer because
Fully.
it's made from grain and like, I guess fermented, which is similar to like being baked and risen, but like couldn't have any sort of like cookies, pastries, literally anything that even remotely has bread, you know, rice, pasta.
Right.
Fuck.
Yeah.
You're starting to run out of
Things
Yeah,
to eat.
literally.
good options.
Mate, we'll just have to see him fucking eat that eating grass.
Yeah.
But you got veggies, obviously.
Yeah, veggies and stuff and meat is all right.
So you'll survive, big fella.
I'll survive. I don't keep the whole 8 days anyway, so it's not.
I bet
not
you
too
don't.
much.
I bet you don't do it for one fucking day. I bet he sneaks shit almost
You
immediately.
snake shit?
I had some corn chips last night,
There you go.
Okay.
which I don't think you're allowed.
Fucking 3 days after the thing started, and he's
Corn.
like, "Mate, you told me after he's had
Oh, and I'm probably
50
gonna,
bongs that he's not like, you know what?
Yeah. You know.
probably gonna get a bacon and egg roll after this as well.
Yeah.
There you go. That's like the most disrespectful meal he could eat right now is a bacon and egg roll
On a roll.
on a roll.
You might have to put it on this, mate.
Yeah, I'll just hand them something. It's like, sorry, can you please make it on this?
Put that in that, bro, please.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it smells like weed. That's weed's all right though.
Yeah.
Right? You can smoke pot.
Yeah, it's
There you go.
kosher. Yeah. There are
you go.
literally articles you can look it up. It is kosher for Pesach. Yeah.
There you
shit.
go. Good stuff.
All right. Well, shout out to the Jews and Passover.
Shout out, bro.
What should we say? Like, how do you say like Happy Passover?
You can kind of just say that.
Okay.
People say good yontiv.
I was hoping for like some sort of
Yontif. I like
Hebrew.
good Yontif.
Yeah.
Some Hebrew. Like
Say good yontiv.
oh, good, but that's good. That doesn't sound Hebrew.
Well, you could say Pesach Sameach.
There you go.
Too many.
Pesach Sameach.
Not bad.
Give it a go.
That just means happy Pesach.
Give it a go.
I don't know.
Give it a
I'm
go.
too fragile.
Come on.
Say it again.
Pesach Sameach.
Pesach Samer.
Yeah, you've done well.
That's pretty good.
Not
You
bad
were
for
so
someone who doesn't know
rattled
what
to have a
prosciutto
crack at
is.
that. That was
I was.
perfect. You were
Yeah,
like,
I
no,
was.
I can't do it. Don't make me do it.
Yeah.
You did
I
it
was
right.
like, because I was thinking about it, I'm like, I don't know if I can get this out.
No, but you know, I think that it was nice.
Only because of my fucking state.
Yeah, just being respectful to Dave's culture. You know what I mean?
I didn't want to like butcher it.
No, we've got a young Jewish man here that is sharing his culture with us, and we can't disrespect him by not partaking in that culture and eating some of that fucking
I liked that. I actually quite liked it.
stuck in my teeth.
You just work it out over the show.
Yeah, you do.
You just work it out over the show.
Slowly work it out. It'll come off. Anyway, that is Jewish news.
That's, yep. That's
Happy
in the Jewish
Passover.
world.
Peyach Yameach. Let's get on to something else.
Just one sec.
You never know what you're going to get in this show.
You never know what you're going to get in that. That was nice.
I'm surprised you enjoyed it. I guess it's
Well,
not bad first try.
You know what? Again,
Yeah.
I think that
It's
we're being
first.
respectful to your culture. I don't
Yeah.
think it was the nicest thing I've ever had in my life, Dave. But it was all right.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I mean, it doesn't taste bad, right? It just
That's
doesn't taste
true,
like
yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
It tastes like nothing.
It's like if Wheat Bix made crackers.
Exactly. I'd be just as. How about fucking?
Yeah,
thought of it?
that's exactly what I would say. If Wheat Bix made crackers.
Yeah.
That's a great example. It does taste like that.
Yeah.
You can't have Wheat Bix, so.
I don't know. I'll Google it. Either.
Is there like a list?
Probably. Like you can probably just Google most things. Are they kosher for Pesach?
Now, Eddie, I don't know. Well, actually, I do know you didn't watch the UFC yesterday. No. You were too hungover, fragile, and the idea of seeing men and women beat the fuck out of each other might
I
have
got
been.
back like well into the card, and then I collapsed on the couch and slept, and when I awoke, it was over. So,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
It is what it is. God, it was a good card, and to think that it could have also had Volkanovski and Ortega title fight on there is like, holy shit, that would have been one of the better cards you've ever fucking seen. fights of note, fights worth, yarning about. Sean O'Malley versus Tommy fucking, I can't remember his name, but it's like, I think he's a Brazilian fighter. O'Malley coming back after a loss and put on a fucking clinic. Beat the shit out of this guy. Basically almost had it finished in the first round and tried to do a walk-off. Cracked him and the guy's fallen back and he's just sort of gone to walk away and the ref hadn't stopped it. So he was like, oh, what? And for good reason. It wasn't over, but he just thought it was. Goes back in and then the whole fight, the commentators are going like, O'Malley's looking for that social media walk-off KO, but it's like, that's not what this is about. Like, you've got to fucking finish motherfuckers. Like, this is the UFC. So they're just sort of chipping him about that, like, will that affect him mentally for the rest of the fight? Is he, is he going to regret that? Just all these things and, like, things he's got to learn. It gets into the third round, and again, this guy, Thomas Almeida, maybe? Gets into the third round, this guy's face is just fucked up, like broken nose, bloody piss and blood everywhere. Into the final round, and he's dropped him again, and then the guy's gone to get up and sort of fallen back again, and you can see he's out, and he sort of goes for another walk-off, and the referee doesn't stop it again, and the commentators start going, oh, he's trying to go for another walk-off, the ref's not stopping it, so he just walks up, stands over him, and the ref doesn't stop it, and he just jumps in the air and just wallops this motherfucker. And it's like the guy he's not even able to get up. It was kind of brutal, right? So like the guy's like laying on the ground, like kind of just like a bit sort of stunned, but he's not out, but like he looks out. And so then O'Malley just sort of like jumps in there and just one punch, bang, and the guy's just like stopped moving. Like he obviously didn't kill him, but he just like, it's that, and he's laying there. And then all of the commentators almost are forced to go back on everything they've just been talking about the whole fight because they're like, oh, God, it didn't look like he needed that one. Yeah. But he absolutely didn't need that.
Exactly. But you've just been fucking...
talking about how you got to finish the fight. You got to finish the fight. And it was like the last thing. And the
I've
guy's
always
just...
saying that about the UFC. It's just like sometimes that, the hammer blow on the ground has always been one part of the UFC where I'm like, that's fucking pretty ash.
Yeah. That's
and
it.
A lot of the refs are like, that's what it takes. Well, that seems to be like
the refs
style
say,
of refereeing.
The refs say, and I think the approach that most fighters have is, even though it's fucked up, I'm just going to keep going until you pull me off him because that's the only way that the fight is stopped, right?
Yes.
So you saw like a couple of weeks ago, Derek Lewis did this fucking savage uppercut to Curtis Blades.
Yeah.
And then he was out the second that punch hit him. But the thing is, you got to keep going until the ref pulls you off, and then he's gone back in and fucking thumped him a couple more times, and he was just like stiff as shit. Or think about when Masvidal with Ben Askren kneed him in the face. He was literally like turned to stone, and then just gets two humongous punches in on him.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Sean O'Malley looks sick though. Got the win. Then what's his fucking name? Not Wonderboy.
Wonderboy's no longer with us in the UFC.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. No, Wonderboy. Yeah, no, Wonderboy's still there.
I thought he went to one.
No. He didn't go to one. You're thinking of someone else. You're thinking of Demetrius Johnson maybe or Eddie Alvarez.
No.
Anyway. Who's the fucking guy whose name has just completely escaped me? He was the welterweight champion for fucking ages, and then Kamaru took it off him. It's not Thompson. I just don't know why I can't remember his name. Just go UFC, Vincente Luque v. Tyrone Woodley. Fuck me. Jesus Christ. So Tyrone Woodley, former champ, one of the greats of the division. 3 off the back of 3 straight losses.
Has he lost 3 times?
Well, it's now 4 because he just got fucking ganked by Vincente Luque. Good fight, though. He had Vincente wobbled, and then out of nowhere, Vincente just swings one and fucking clips him, and then he's stumbling around, and then they're both just sort of throwing wildly. First round shit, and then he just choked him out. You're like, fucking hell. It's funny how like a fight can be epic inside of like 3 minutes. You're just like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, he looks like his career's probably done, at least in the UFC.
Yeah.
He's old as shit. But the main event, the big mama jammer, was Stipe versus Francis. Heavyweight title. Scariest man in the world versus the greatest of all time. And it was it was crazy to see. So the first time they fought, Stipe beat Francis, who is 6'4", In terms of pounds, it's like 250, 60 pounds or something ridiculous. Francis, he's fucking humongous. Cameroonian refugee.
What is he in kilos?
I'd say he'd be 120-ish, 130-ish. Francis Ngannou.
I just like...
No, I know. Yeah, it'd be nice to have some context. But he's also like lean muscle. Like he's got like a fucking... They said he's got like a featherweight's body in a heavyweight.
He's 120 kilos, essentially. 119.2.
And cut. Like absolutely fucking shredded.
Yeah.
Out of this world.
Yeah.
And arms are fucking humongous. Arms are like bigger than Stipe's head. And in the first fight, he's basically his last 7 fights, or his last 4 fights haven't gone longer than 70 seconds. So he's coming into the title fight where he went 5 rounds with Stipe, the last one, and lost. And his last 4 haven't gone longer than 70 seconds, and everyone's like, shit, has he made the adjustments? Has he, because usually he just comes out swinging wildly and just fucking KOs people.
Yeah. Catches him and it's
all over. And he came out real sort of patient and controlled and was like, he'd go for these. He'd have these wild swing moments, but then he'd chill. And then he'd come again. And then Stipe tries to take him down, which he was doing at will in the first fight. And he stuffs the takedown. And everyone's like, oh, shit. What's going to happen now? Like, this is a change. He's made some adjustments. And I think Cormier at one point says during the commentary, he goes like, holy shit, calm Francis is the scariest man on the planet, because it's actually like now it's like, oh, this guy's got all these crazy, like he's a fucking beast, and now he's calm, and now he's like, I'm just waiting. But dude, he hit Stipe with a Francis bomb, and Stipe ate it, and you're like, and Francis said after, he goes, when I saw him eat that shot, I was like, holy shit, this guy can fucking take a punch. But he was like, it's all right, it's calm, you'll get him. Anyway,
to put that in some perspective, Ngannou's 13 kilos heavier and 7 centimeters taller than David Fafita.
There you go.
Jesus Christ.
There you go.
He's a big boy. He's got like the hardest recorded punch in
human history. And again, if you haven't gone and listened to his interview on Rogan, do it. It's very interesting. So anyway, gets out of the first round and everyone's like, but he's hit Stipe with a couple of big fucking bombs, kicked him in the fucking head, like leg kicking him and shit. Stipe did nothing in the first round. Nothing. Just looked like, holy fuck, what's going on? This guy's now like, oh, this guy's leveled up.
Yeah.
Comes out in the second round and he's like, his jab was the punch that fucking dropped him. So like he's got his big right hand, but it was like he's just
big fucking haymaker.
Yeah, these jabs what dropped him. And then, I mean, once he dropped him, then he's just sort of, he's come in and you're like, this is fucking wild. And then the final exchanges, he's belting him up against the fence. They sort of break out of it. Stipe cracks him. And Francis sort of goes back a bit, but Stipe thinks that like, oh, I've got him hurt. So then comes in and Francis just, boop, and just out. And then we're talking about that fucking, like, you don't like to see the hammer once they're on the ground. You wouldn't have liked to see the end of that fucking fight because Stipe's on the ground and you can see as soon as Stipe hits the ground, Herb Dean, the ref, is like sprinting to try and get in there before Francis can. And Francis just up over the top and just crunches him on the face with a hammer fist. And he's just like, again, out.
Fucking barbaric, mate.
Yeah, barbaric as fuck. But anyway, so that win for Francis, like, I don't know of a fucking movie script that could be written any better. Like, his story is ridiculous, and the fact that he's now made it to the highest of highs, the heavyweight champion of the UFC, after, like, I'm telling you, like, multiple attempts to try and escape Africa. Crazy. Then when he finally does, like, on a boat, you know what I mean? Then it's homeless in France for a couple of years, just training because he wants to be a fighter. And then finally does, and then sort of makes his way. He wants to be a boxer initially, then he becomes a UFC fighter, loses his first title fight attempt, then comes back and KO's the greatest of all time to do it. And now he's the 3rd African champion. Dude, can you imagine like the untapped resources in Africa? Obviously because of like the immense poverty and like fucking, but like
crazy.
The untapped talent over there.
Oh yeah, in a lot of sports.
Fucking oath, but you just think of like these absolute weapons. You wonder as well whether someone like him, if he was in America, he probably would have been snapped up by like a fucking NBA or football or NFL or something like that.
100%.
And that's where probably like a lot of Americans with that sort of skill level go to because there's so much money in it, whereas, and like not even nearly as much in UFC.
Well, would be way less fighters than football players, right? Like all the time.
Yeah, but what I mean is like they say like someone like LeBron with his dimensions would be a world champion in a fucking like if he's so big and he's so like fucking strong, obviously, but like
he's an athlete.
He's an athlete, but like if he was trained in like jiu-jitsu and MMA from a young age, that he'd be fucking almost unstoppable.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that like why would you when you can go play basketball and you can make fucking millions of dollars and not get concussions? Yeah, whereas Francis has come from a place where it's like football, no one's scouting fucking NFL players really in Africa. Anyway,
do you reckon he will fight John Jones?
That's he has to, right? Like if he fights fucking Derek Lewis again, which was a shit fight, obviously you'd think it'd be different this time around, but like if they don't make John Jones and Francis Ngannou, then it's just a fucking disappointing shit show. They absolutely have to. They should just pay him whatever they want.
You see, like, he's putting up videos of Dana, this is John Jones being like, why would you not try and hype the fight and like,
yeah.
You know, why are you disrespecting me?
Well, because Dana came out in the press conference and was like, if I was John Jones, I'd be dropping down to welterweight.
Yeah.
And he's like, what are you, like, again, that's all like posturing and shit though, right? Because obviously John Jones wants money and the UFC don't want to, obviously are trying to mitigate how much they're going to pay him. Mm. But like, dude.
But like,
within reason, obviously, right?
Within
like, who knows?
reason, but that fight sells every day of the week.
You've got John Jones, the greatest lightweight, well, arguably the greatest fighter of all time, against Francis. After you saw what Francis did, and again, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? Like when it comes to MMA, but like the guy is so powerful and just calm now. How the fuck anyone beats him? And also he can take a punch. Like it's not like he's...
Mate, I look at it, I just don't, I look at John Jones and I'm like, I don't think you're big enough. Like what could he get up to?
Oh no, dude, I think he's pretty big. Can you just look up how big John Jones is right now? I think he's put on a fuckload of weight. His legs are the skinniest things on planet Earth. Like he's walking around
like he's he's always super lean.
Upper body is fucking pretty big.
It says in 93 kilos.
Yeah, but like that would be fighting weight.
Is that now?
They probably don't have his current weight.
No. Just Google like John Jones.
2021 weight.
Yeah, John Jones heavyweight, like heavyweight weight. How much is John Jones weighing now? Because it wouldn't be 93 kilos, bruh. That's like...
That's what he would fight.
That's less than me.
That's what he would have fought.
Dude, so I'm a heavyweight. I'm a fucking...
Light heavy. You'd fight at light heavy.
Yeah, probably. Well, I'd have to train, wouldn't I?
Well,
if I strip back weight, I might even get down to middleweight.
You'd be heavyweight now.
Yeah.
But your fighting weight would be...
light heavy, maybe even a middleweight.
In December last year, he was 108 kilos.
Okay. So, that's still...
108?
Yeah.
So still 10 kilos.
Yeah.
Which is a fair bit. But not insurmountable. How tall is John? He'd be 6...
He'd be 6'3", 6'4", wouldn't he? He's pretty big.
He is pretty big. 6'4" is big though.
Yeah, 6'4" is big boy stuff.
It's not like 6'7", 6'8".
No, but it's big.
Like think about that. LeBron's 6'8".
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's ridiculous. Like it's humongous.
John Jones only 6'4".
Yeah, you go. Well,
they're both 6'4".
Yeah. Stipe is 6'4". That's what was funny about that. I was like, Stipe is actually fucking big. Just not as nearly as muscular. Like you look at Francis, you're just like, this is human perfection.
Mm. It's outlier stuff. Mm. It's how cut he is for a heavyweight.
For a heavyweight,
scary.
yeah, because it's like
he's so cut.
He's six pack, arms are humongous. Again, if you are listening to this and you don't know, you just got to go and look, and again listen to the podcast about his life because it's fucking interesting. Anyway, he has to fight John Jones. It'll be the probably biggest fight of all time. It could be, maybe not.
It wouldn't be.
Well, no, it definitely could be because it's heavyweight, because it's Francis, all that shit. The only reason it could not be is because someone like Conor McGregor crosses over into the like public, the pop culture realm.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people that don't follow UFC wouldn't know the fucking Ngannou is.
No, which is crazy. Maybe they will now. The belt brings eyeballs.
Something to think about.
But we put the video up on our Instagram, which you can go check out now at Hello Sport podcast on Instagram. You fucks. But it was firstly the video of me and Streety and Josh watching it at home, and Evie was fucking... Steph had to go out, and I was looking after Evie, put her to bed to try and get her to sleep for like... I also don't want her to be watching people beat the fuck out of each other. I don't know that that's a good thing for a young child to see. But it was a bedtime. Thought we'd put her in bed, and it was like, all right, dudes, like obviously it's hard not to scream when you see something happen, but we just need to try and muffle our excitement as much as possible so I don't wake her up. And then as soon as something happens, you just forget what you're doing. And I look back in the video and I scream louder than anyone.
Yeah, you do.
I scream louder than anyone. And I woke her up. You might see, if you go and look at it, you see I look down at like the baby on her. I'm like, I've woken her up. Fantastic. Great. Fantastic. She's awake now. But the sick reaction that I put up was from ESPN. It was like there's a video footage of his hometown.
Yes, mate. So sick.
His hometown, and they're all like reacting when they see him because now he's like a fucking king over there, obviously. But yeah, it's cool. Anyway, I fucking love UFC. What we're looking at here is an AFL commentator. This is in AFL though, right? Like this is...
Yeah, this is AFL. I think he's a radio commentator for, I want to say maybe somewhere in Adelaide or Perth.
5AA. Whatever the fuck.
Yeah, anyway,
goes.
and his son's making his debut for one of the teams.
So you don't have
And
any
he kicks his
information on
first
one
goal.
of the teams? You
Well,
don't have
I
any
can't
name?
remember. You'll see which teams are playing when you watch it.
Okay, can you hit play?
I can.
5-4-34, 2-3-15, Crows by 19.
I hate their scoring
We've played
system.
about 10 minutes in the second quarter. It's 34 degrees. My heart rate for the Western Hospital's up to 190.
190. Get an ambulance on standby. Another tough tackle thanks to Cameron Logistics. Keys gets it. They break away. Gets it to Lynch. Trying to shuffle the handball over the top. It's Rowe in the pocket. Takes the bounce. He steadies himself. Rowe.
Oh,
and he's kicked his first.
Oh, he's going crazy.
Good boy! Oh, he needed an early one. Good boy. Look at him go. I love footy. Look at him get around a little bit. Phew.
It was a wonderful moment.
Lovely. Love to see that.
You love to see it.
We'll say, just based on that, I still can't tell who's the dad of who. I assume the guy closest to us is the dad.
Yeah, he's the dad.
He seemed like the dad.
If he's not the dad, I've misread the whole
misread the situation. I will say that must be one of the great fucking experiences. Again, now that I am a proud father. Seeing your kids do crazy shit would just be sick.
It would be so sick.
Like Evie fucking points at the door and says door, and I'm like, whoa. But to kick a goal in AFL, I don't know what's better.
Well, it's all context.
It's all
right?
context.
You start with the door and you work your way up.
You work your way up. Who knows where it'll
Because,
land.
like, you know, if I
put those expectations onto Evie now,
No, well, I'm just saying, if you were to point at the door and say door, I mean, it's lost its luster.
yeah, you might even be concerned. Anyway, let's get into the dribbles, Dave. That was good. Thank you.
Thank you, mate.
Eddie, I'm spent, mate.
I'm fucking rooted, mate.
Until next week, make sure that you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. About Even comes out later in the week as well. It's not a podcast. It's only a show on YouTube, and the only way that continues is if you like and subscribe so we can charge money for advertisers.
Yep. Not you.
Not you. Free content. But we need the fucking likes and subscribes, bro.
And 5 stars.
And 5 stars and whatever else you fucking do. But that's it. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Could you two just not talk anymore?